Hey, what's up, people? Piz out here, and today I want to talk to you guys about Man of Steel, which I just watched tonight, and can't really do this review in a typical manner that I usually do on this channel, because I basically just want to talk about everything that I liked about the movie Man of Steel, which is basically everything about the movie Man of Steel. So spoiler alert, I really like this movie, and I'm going to highly recommend that you guys go out and check it out if you haven't already. I purposefully avoided seeing it opening weekend to avoid the crowds. I went to a midweek matinee, but still could not avoid the family that brings their tiny children, including an infant, with them to the theater. So got to hear the baby cry several times. Also got to hear the young children asking their mother or father, I couldn't tell, every so often, did he kill him forever? Yeah, so anyway, I mean, right off the bat, you know, I really enjoyed how they established Krypton, and they spent some time in Krypton. You have Russell Crowe as Jor-El, as the father of Superman. We get to see the birth of Superman right off the bat. It was funny, my girlfriend whispered in my ear, she was like, that's the PG version of birth. So that was kind of cool. But I really enjoyed how they established and a strong a firm sort of foothold in Krypton. They introduced General Zod early on. The whole thing about how Krypton is sort of crumbling around them, and you know, Krypton is doomed, and you know, Kal-El is their only hope of sort of, you know, continuing on the bloodline and continuing with the people of Krypton, because you know, Krypton is doomed. And they move forward onto Earth, and they did something really great in that, you know, this is a long movie. It's a 2.5-hour movie. It's got a, you know, broad scope. It's got an epic feel, but you know, they didn't. Not that it's a waste of time, but they handled sort of the backstory, the story of you know, young Clark Kent, you know, growing up and realizing his powers and dealing with them. They did that sort of in flashback, which I thought was handled really well. Really added, you know, instead of, you know, a lot of flashbacks to try and, you know, establish things, kind of slow down the plot. In Man of Steel, it only, you know, moved it forward. And it didn't slow it down at all. You know, I loved those moments of going back and forth as you know, Clark Kent has got this sort of, you know, vagabond existence. He's traveling from town to town, sort of from menial job to menial job, and of course, you know, he can't fit in. It kind of reminded me of sort of the, you know, the Wolverine story that they told in the X-Men films, of how he's just sort of this vagabond moving around, and you know, he can't establish himself anywhere because he's just so different. He doesn't fit in. And they sort of cut back and forth from, you know, these moments to, you know, young Clark dealing with, you know, realizing that he has these powers and that he is different from everybody. And you know, the interactions between him and his father and mother, played by Kevin Costner and Diane Lane, were just really, really well done. Really well done. My girlfriend was like, he's got Kurt Russell and Kevin Costner as fathers. That is hardcore. That is really hardcore. I mean, that's, you know, and Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner are just great in the film. Fantastic performances from them. There's a lot of really moving, powerful moments in the film. One of which involving the death of Kevin Costner's character. Really handled well, really done really well. I thought it was quite moving, actually. And a lot of great action in the film. So much action in this film. So much action in this film. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard about, you know, the destruction to Smallville and to Metropolis, and I mean, they just wipe Smallville and Metropolis off the map. I mean, the fights between you know, Superman and General Zod and his and his cohorts are just epic, and they're, I mean, it's the movie, of course, directed by Zack Snyder, who knows how to film an action sequence, and there's just some really breathtaking, awesome action sequences in this film. There's so many great superhero moments. Just exhilarating superhero moments. Those kind of moments that just kind of give you goosebumps, that raise the hair on your arms. One in particular, there's these devices, and General Zod is trying to terraform Earth to mirror the atmosphere of Krypton, and Superman has to destroy one of these. I forget, the global engines or something like that, world engines, and just a fantastic moment, really moving, powerful moment there, just a great superhero moment. And you don't get those moments in a whole lot of superhero movies, but when you do, when it's done really well, and all the, everything is working as it should, just really, really powerful, great moments. The acting, like I said, is great all around. Henry Cavill does a really sort of an understated performance in the film. He just sort of generates this vulnerability throughout the film. Yes, he has the powers of a god. He's indestructible, but he's incredibly vulnerable, And they establish, with the flashbacks of him in various, stages of adolescence, growing up, instead of accepting these powers, or instead of looking at them as, I am a god, he is, less than, he's not human, he's less than human. He has these great abilities, but, it's more of a curse than a blessing. And really enjoyed his performance. Like I said, Russell Crowe, Kevin Costner, great. Diane Lane was great. Amy Adams is great in the movie as Lois Lane. My buddy Cole, I know he went off on a tangent on Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I really enjoyed her performance. I thought she did great in the film. I really enjoyed the fact that they downplayed the love story with Lois and Clark, Lois and Superman, whatever. Really enjoyed that aspect of the film. Michael Shannon, who plays General Zod, great villain. And what they did with him that I loved was, in the end, they made him not necessarily a sympathetic villain, but, he even says it in the film, I was genetically created to protect Krypton, and the people of Krypton, and Krypton is gone, so I want to make Earth Krypton, and when you take that away from me, what have I got left? It's kind of like, I know, a lot of interesting stuff going on there. Anytime you can take a villain and make him, again, not necessarily sympathetic, but you can almost sort of understand where he's coming from. I really enjoyed that aspect of the film. Like I said, it's such a huge, epic movie. So much action, so many great action sequences, but they really downplayed a lot of aspects of the film that they could have just really gone over the top with. Like, okay, this is a comic book movie, let's just go over the top with it. As far as the character-y stuff, they just did an excellent job of balancing, the understated with the big, huge action. And I really appreciated that. It made it feel, more real to me than, just this big budgeted comic book movie. It's the kind of movie that, comic book fans, I think, will absolutely love. And my buddy James, DVD Collector 1974, who's a huge Superman fan, I know he absolutely loved it. But it's also the kind of film that, the uninitiated to Superman or to comic books in general can walk into, can get enough of the backstory, can get enough of the origin story to sort of get caught up as to, who Superman is, where he came from, and, can get just, right into the story and just really enjoy it. And yeah, I mean, I was really, really happy and really pleased with Man of Steel. The only real qualms, I mean, it toward the end it does seem to drag on a little bit. The slightly over the top elements kind of come in toward the end. They purposefully didn't throw in the whole thing of Superman with the glasses and ripping open the shirt, and he's the mild-mannered Daily Planet reporter. They kind of little bit of that right at the very end, which kind of, I mean, it didn't really seem necessary because they'd steered so far away from it through the other 2.5 hours of the movie to kind of tack that on sort of at the end. But overall, I mean, I really, really enjoyed Man of Steel. There's a lot of great elements to the film. Like I said, it's just one of those movies that I felt just hit on all cylinders. Great cast, great director, fantastic story, fantastic script, fantastic, just everything across the board. I really, really enjoyed this film, and if you have not gone out to see it at this point, you certainly should, because it's very, very good. It's actually the kind of movie that I think you could watch multiple times and it would not lose any steam between viewing one and viewing two. So yeah, just really, really pleased, really, really entertained, really, really, like I said, just had those superhero moments that there's a lot of superhero movies that come out, but very few can give you those big superhero moments that just kind of bring chills to your arms and or just goosebumps. And yeah, Man of Steel did it, and did it in spades, and I was really, really happy with it. So again, if you haven't seen Man of Steel, definitely go out and check it out. If you have, I say give it a second look. A lot going on there, a lot to see. Yeah, really, really good movie. So anyway, I'll stop blathering on about it now and wrap the thing up. So yeah, anyway, until next time, you guys take it easy. Peace.